They're terrified to sleep. They can't sleep, and they are really just worried.
Yeah.
Because they don't know if they fall asleep, will they wake up? They don't know.
Right.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to this very special episode of Recovery TV. This episode is special because I am interviewing a close friend and colleague of mine that is on the front lines in New York City as a mental health professional. Amanda Brandon is a licensed professional counselor who generally operates her practice right here in the Oklahoma City metro area. But right now, she is currently in New York City working out of a hospital, and this just might be the first time she has been able to be still long enough to be able to tell about her experience. So you don't want to miss this one, so don't go anywhere.
Introduce my friend and colleague, Amanda Brandon, who is a licensed professional counselor that operates in the Oklahoma City metro area, but today she is coming to us all the way from New York City because she is on the front lines in a lot of ways helping with this pandemic. So we're going to hear about that a little bit today. So Amanda, thanks for being here.
Yeah, sure. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
To start out with, kind of tell us about how you ended up in New York City. How did this all happen?
Oh, yeah, it was kind of a whirlwind of how it happened. I have a friend who I've known for quite some time who has done a lot of research for military and special operations forces and TBI and suicide. And she sent me a message on April 4th, I believe, saying, hey, my friend and I are going to New York City to open a field hospital. We need a mental health practitioner, and are you in? And without really even thinking, I responded yes. And then I kind of put the phone down and thought, oh my goodness, I just said yes to going to New York City. So
oh wow,
here I am. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this program that you're working under, kind of what the general concept is, and then what your specific job is in that concept.
When I got here, I had no idea what I was going to be doing or what to expect. And so my role has really evolved over the last couple of weeks. And now I'm kind of settling more into what I'll be doing. So right now, my main focus is the mental health and wellness of the medical providers that are here serving the patients.
Okay.
So that is my main focus. It's very non-traditional. I pretty much walk around. We have been so fortunate to have a really amazing facility kind of opened up to us just because everything around here is closed. So they've given us a place to kind of operate out of where the medical personnel are able to come in and out because of the area that they're treating patients is completely closed off. So I can go in there, and I have a few times, but mostly when they come out for snacks, water, bathroom breaks, and food, I'm there. I'm visible. I'm there. I'm checking in with them constantly, asking them how they're doing and how they're feeling.
Okay. I know you're trained as an EMDR therapist, and which is for people watching, is a specialized form of trauma treatment. Is that something that you're able to do while you're there, or are you having to utilize like different methods to help people?
I haven't had to use it too much. I did kind of expect maybe to use a little bit of a brief part of it where you kind of reduce emotional response to intense events. But so far I have not had to. I'm mostly just checking in and using something called psychological first aid where we just make sure they're doing their daily check-ins of coping mechanisms and stress management.
Coming from Oklahoma City, we're in a city that when on a crowded day, it's nothing compared to what it's like in New York City, right? I mean, I think I saw when I was there, I think I saw 2 or 3 people like have near-death experiences from cars. Now, I'm not joking either. I
believe you.
Literally, they were half a second away from getting ran over, And
Right.
so yeah, it's wild. And you know, for people that might be watching this that aren't from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma City is about, we have a population of about a little over 1 million people, and it's a very spread out city. But we aren't, we haven't been free of this pandemic. But I don't think anywhere in the U.S. has experienced anything like New York City has experienced. I say think, I know it hasn't.
Yeah.
So since you're right there in the midst of it all, I mean, I know words probably can't explain what this is like, but can you give it a shot?
Uh, I will try without getting emotional, because I haven't really stopped to think about it, but it's really tough. The the patients are really sick. Their families are scared. The patients are scared. They're terrified. Um, the first few days that our hospital was open, a lot of the medical professionals that have come here are veterans, and they have not done anything like this. And I say military veterans, so their training was in a very different
Mhm.
form of medicine, but they were fully capable of this kind of nursing care. But what they were seeing was so different than what they're used to. Um, and hearing the patients' stories and the fear in their voices and the questions that they had just about what they were up against was not only difficult for them, in a medical sense, but also in an emotional sense,
Mhm.
because we don't know. We don't know.
Right.
There's so many things unknown. And these patients, luckily, once they come to us, are coming, this is their next step to going home. So it's mild to moderate cases after they've gone through the ER and had treatment, and then come to us, and they don't know what's happening. So a lot of what we were doing was telling them, this is the next step to going home. You're going to beat this. You're going to survive. But then connecting them back with their families is really tough. I have seen some of the toughest guys that you could imagine, washing old ladies' hair or shaving an old man's face, sitting at their bedside talking with them, because these patients have not had that in their hospital stay, because the doctors and nurses in a traditional
Mhm.
hospital setting are just too busy saving
Sure.
so many people that they just don't get those questions answered, and they don't have the time to connect them with their family. It's more of, let's save their lives.
Mhm.
And so by the time they come to us, it's kind of a
Mhm.
release valve for the other
Mhm.
hospitals. One woman was getting her hair washed for the first time in about 2 weeks,
Mhm.
by a young man whose job in the military was saving his teammates. So
Wow.
that's pretty cool to
Yeah.
see. Um,
There's.
and
Yeah.
they're scared, but they also, now we're kind of getting a reputation
Mhm.
of this is the place they want to be moved to. We purchased a large bell, for them to ring on the way out, and they come out and they ring this huge bell, and the neighborhood around can hear it. And every night at 7 p.m. It's truly incredible. The whole city comes out and cheers and claps and
Mhm.
hoots and hollers, and that's really cool to see as well.
That is
But
really neat. Yeah.
these patients, I mean, a lot of them are what I have been told by them, because I have gone in and talked with them, because they need just somebody to listen,
Mhm.
and most of them are really terrified. They can say nightmares. They're terrified to
Mhm.
sleep. They can't sleep, and they are really just worried,
Yeah.
because they don't know if they fall asleep, will they wake up? They don't know.
Right. It's so scary. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's interesting that when I asked you, to reflect on your experience there, that your mind went to like acts of humanity, like more
Hmm.
so than like the loss, like that we've been hearing about, and which I know is tragic and good reason to be sad and to grieve. But
Hmm.
your go-to on that was seeing these acts of kindness and humanity with perfect strangers, basically. And
Hmm.
I think that,
Yeah.
I don't know. I know it's something I haven't really thought of in the sense of people that are in New York City on the front lines that are handling this crisis. I kind of think of like, get in there, save some lives, keep people breathing. We're not worried about shaving their faces and stuff.
And that's exactly where most of the medical professionals have been for the last month and a half, maybe longer.
Right.
And so what we have been able to do is bring in fresh people to kind of give some relief to these doctors and nurses here that live here in New York City who have not had that chance to just sit down and think about what they've been through. And actually there was a story in the New York Times today of a ER doctor who committed suicide just last night. And so that's been really rough.
Wow, that is sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And without, it's really sad. And that's why I'm here, because the medical professionals are really struggling, and right now they don't even have time to acknowledge their struggle. They're too busy trying to save lives. So we're trying to mitigate that damage down the road.
Yeah.
If we can.
Yeah. Obviously, the very first part of this, we were hit with a very serious health crisis, which quickly didn't become. It's like tacked onto that is the economic crisis, and what I've been kind of referring to as the third wave is the mental health crisis that we are beginning, if not already, seeing, and I think New York's going to see it first, probably, as you just explained. I'm so glad you're there. I'm scared for you too at the same time, but the courage it takes. I know it doesn't surprise me that you're willing to go out there. I've known Amanda for a few years now, and you literally were a trooper at one point in time. So
yes, I was a veteran military myself. So which is this population of people has been close to my heart for a very long time. Doing a lot of kind of gotten into my trauma work with the military veteran culture, and so when I kind of this has been pretty cool to see kind of come to fruition, and a huge undertaking. I have had no experience in a hospital setting, establishing and building a hospital. Literally built a hospital in less than a week with some of the most amazing people that I've ever worked beside. So awesome. That's been really cool. And then just staffed it with some really flexible people, because they came in here having no idea how to do any of this. Just kind of said, here's some patients, and now let's treat them. So a little more than that, but you know what I mean. So
I know. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate what you're doing, and I hope you have ways to take care of yourself while you're out there and be kind.
Can I show you one of the things I've been doing?
Please. Yeah.
Okay. I love to watercolor.
Wow,
so I painted a little. This is like what we wear when we are with patients.
That's really impressive too. Did you? Well, you didn't have to look at anything.
I just I remember what we looked at, like our N95s here. Yeah. So that's one of my coping skills is painting and drawing. So I brought all my stuff with me, and you got to make time for it, and that's what I've been preaching to all these people here working so hard is you got to do those things. So
well, I really appreciate you. Hey, how about can we close out with a virtual hug? Like, I'm gonna lean this way.
And I lean this way?
Yeah.
Okay. How do we do the arm?
Lean in. Virtual hug.